I'm seeing double here. 4 Phils. I'm just joking. Today we have a comparison between Fiddler's Phil, Hiddle, and Fiddler's Fiddle Heath. 2 fiddlers. Isn't that interesting? Of course, Hill, he competed way back in the 80s, late 80s, early 90s, perhaps. He was overlooked. Nobody cared about all this, mass monster era muscle back in the 80s. There was Lance Dreher, guys like that. They didn't really care about. It's crazy when you think about it. In modern day considerations, things of that nature, Phil Hill would have been a contender. Look at him next to Phil Heath. Now, Heath, this is 2010. I'll tell you right now, I didn't want to use the best of the best. Wasn't a fan of 2010, whether it be the Olympia, which is here, or go to the next shot. This is the same pose, though. This is from the Arnold Classic. You see the angle of the shot for a lot of Phil Hill's pictures are way down on the ground. And I think this one of Phil, well, I guess I shouldn't just say Phil. I'll say Phil H. Oh, no, I can't do that either. I have an Uncle Phil, H, interestingly enough. Now, in the front double, I would absolutely go with the old school mantity, I was going to say. You don't want to call a human being a mantity. I think a mantity is like a pinniped, is it not? You guys not know what a pinniped is? I looked it up. The quad's on the man, but the midsection is what gets it for me. It's what got it for me. You guys see that little trickery in there? Here's the front lat spread, and I know. I can hear you guys now. But Mark's Max moron, this is a terrible picture, and it is angled too far down for Phil Hill. Yes, I know. Takes me in mind of that old picture. Way back in the dawn of times. Sergio Oliva. 1972. But having said that, Fiddler's Fiddle is actually, he's kind of besting old pre-gut Phil Heath, but in 2010 there was some expansion. This was a sign of things to come. And nope, I'm being told by my editor there is some sort of news break, a news update. Apparently, ladies and gentlemen, and this is just in, Bob Ciccarello has tossed his name into the wrestling ring, so to speak, for some sort of charity wrestling thing, I assume. Now you can see he's looking big, first of all, but he has also aligned himself with some pretty dangerous people. So, could be Hulk Hogan, I think, perhaps. He did challenge for a match, but there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. You heard it first. Heard it first here at Mark's Max Muscle. Remember that. You see it on all of the other channels, and Nick Strength and Powers and things of that nature. Here is the side. Turn to the side. But Mark's Max Muscle, I think you have missized this one. Hard to suggest, really, guys. There's just too much time in between these two dudes to find one individual that they both stood next to, or I could find a guy that Phil stood next to, and then find a guy that he stood next to, and see if, you know what I mean? It's just very difficult. Phil Hill looks good. He looks very good. Good big quads, too. Phil Heath, not without his charms. Of course, one of the best in the side chests. Was never one of my all-time favorites. You Heathites get upset about that sometimes. Here is a hoo-ha pose, and wow. I just have to say, wow, unbelievable. Look at Phil H. Hill, fiddlers, fiddle, hiddle. Look at every inch a bodybuilder. Every inch a modern day muscled up man. Unbelievable, guys. He's taken Phil Heath to school. Well, not really. Phil Heath is pretty good too, but it's just very strange to see a guy that was placing I don't know, 12th or 13th or something of that nature. He beat Sean Ray at the only Olympia he competed in. Of course, Ray was overlooked there too, but it's funny to see a guy like that doing well against a modern day demigod. Well, I wouldn't go that far. Phil probably would. He's a colossus. All right. Now, I am sure the back poses. Well, I wasn't sure about this. He's doing the splits. It's Phil Hill. Hard to get a good shot of his back, but trust me, from video footage, things of that nature, and I'm not going to serve up an old rusty screenshot to you folks. But you can even see here that the guy had an incredible back development. I even see glutes. You can't really flex those glutes while doing the splits. Either, really. Or display your back at its fullest. But I know one thing's for sure. I have seen gentlemen stand next to Fiddler's Phil Heath in 2010 and not do as well as this Hill from the 80s is doing. My soul, my kingdom for a fantastic tricep sweeps. Do you see his tricep sweeps? Very crisp. Crisp indeed. And here is the abs and thigh. Crispin Glubber. Who's Crispin Glubber? Is he not in Back to the Future? Was he the dad? I think he was. Crispin, I think. Look at the abs on Phil Hill. I mean, Heath, he's not bad at all. This is 2010. I think that hoo-ha back there, for you acute observers, you probably did notice that it was from the Olympia in 08, I think, if I'm not mistaken. So yes, an easy walk-away win for Hill. Look at the quads on the guy. Of course, camera angle. I think I might have made him a little bit too big, even me, suggesting butt marks max muscle. No, here, I'll do my voice. Butt marks max muscle, you have missized this one again. Hey, that's how I think I sound. Here's the most muscular, and throughout this entire matchup, it is pretty consistent that these guys are very similar. They have a narrow clavicle for the size of the guys. I mean, geez Louise, probably wider than mine. Incredible arms on both cases. Huge big quads. And Phil, I know, I was going all gaga over those abs and that abs and thigh. But Phil's were good too, and Phil's midsection by times were good. Just seems Phil Hill was more depleted, and his midsection was more of an insy. And Phil Heath may have been a little bit too full. But absolutely two fine Phil fiddlers indeed. And oh, Terry, my editor, he is foolish. Do you guys see what's going on here? A couple of fiddlers on the roof. No? No laughs for that at all? Jeez. Well, I thought it was great, Terry. Anyway. Phil Heath, his midsection, little bit full. Who am I kidding? Less of you are listening anyway at the end of the video. He was a whale of a lobbyist. Look at this big Holden tank. It is coagulating. Telling you right now. And Hill, look at that. These guys knew how to deplete, and this guy here in particular knew how to pop up that muscle, still maintain a small waistline. He was pulling vacuums earlier on in the program. You guys don't forget that news update either, Bob Ciccarello. Kind of looked like Andre the Giant. Nom sang, nom so sing. And your winner of the matchup, Phil Hill, guy that placed 12th at the Olympia, defeats a guy that placed 2nd at the Olympia. Yes. That shouldn't get me any hate. Love you guys. Have a great one.